Hello and welcome to the audio work. Do something game. Oh, there we go. Yep, audio's fine. I've been fiddling about. I've tried to add one of these follow alert. In fact, I'll test it. But I can see it back in the stream back. I have a monitor thing on, so I heard it. I've no idea how loud it actually is on the stream without, say, watching it back. So hopefully that's not deafened anyone who is watching. But it just plays like the basically it's a alert thing that it's like it should do a little message here, and play a little sound mainly to alert me, because I think it's always good to acknowledge followers. I'm considering taking the name off though, because I know some people don't like to highlighted in that way. Yeah. Anyway, so backroom talk. Basically. Yeah, so I got a cold again. So I got one after EGX. It probably doesn't sound in my voice, you probably can't hear it, but all the back of my, like soft palate is all like inflamed and I'm a bit snotty and that sort of thing. So it's only just started, and hopefully it's not as bad. It doesn't feel like it's going to be as bad as the other one. The other one not be on me bum. Out of action for a few days, but this one just feels unpleasant, sort of thing. So apologies if at any point I cough or, sneeze or any of that sort of stuff. I've taken some paracetamol, so it should roll. But apologies if there's any of that, or I have to break away to blow my nose or something. That's what that is, basically. So yeah, but I have been busy in the game. And that's what we'll do first. We'll go for a little tour where I'll show you what I've been doing. Quite apt actually with it showing the trains in the background. It's trains I've mainly been fiddling with, but if it loads up, there have been some big patches, because it's the experimental branch and that's the whole point. But there have been some pretty meaty patches. Quite a big one today, in particular. So yeah, I mean, I could. In fact, let's have a look on the map. One thing I did, I think I showed this last time, but our train's all the way down there. Okay, we'll go over to the. This iron and stuff factory first. I'll just quickly show you. So, from here. So, what I did, and I didn't really have to do this. This wasn't to do with the update, but it's something I discovered from watching a sort of YouTube video, is that you could do this type of junction and have trains loop back. And so I took the opportunity. You could just about see the line. In fact, I think they've improved the draw distance of the game. So this just used to be a blur, I think. But it's now a single track, basically. So I got rid of that, and I took the opportunity to completely redo it. So it's now elevated, and it's more straighter lines, and it just looks a bit better. And I, in particular, used the big frames. I had to unlock them. That's the only thing I've unlocked new from the shop, because I've not really, and I had to sort of sacrifice a load of material to do it. I'm not really making it. But yeah, so I've been using this big frame support. I think it calls it big frame material, big frame pillar, to make it look like it's supported. Because what it does, really cool, and this may be something it's always done, and I just never knew. But because I was having a lot of trouble before, that I had to place the rail on the actual, what's it called, foundation type things. It wouldn't let me just put it on the top of the pillar. But it now does. That's one thing. Although that wasn't very convenient. We better head up again. But what you can do is just, it clips to it. So it attaches to it. And so you can just build down. And with zooping, you can literally just draw a pillar, basically. And obviously it's not actually supporting the track. The track is floating. But it looks really cool, I think. Just that very, very simple thing. And I'm sure all these clever people who do superstar didn't need to rush, because it's stopping at the other station. All these people who do beautiful factory builds and stuff like that, I'm sure are going to do some awesome stuff. Because they've also got these things like clip to it. Oh, you need to put one of them on first to do it. There we go. So they like clip to the sides and stuff now, so you can do, you know, side pillars. And also this yellow thing is just where it's clipping into something, but that's the soft clearance. So you can easily attach things and stick things together and do stuff that looks really cool. I was going to show you that I'm fiddling about with the customizer as well, this swatch customizer thing. We're going to hop in the train basically, and I'll show you the train line, what I've done with it over there. I love that you can now just hop into the locomotives and it doesn't turn off the automatic thing, and that could have been something I was doing silly before. Fully admit that. It's not going to unload anything because there's nothing happening here yet. What we're going to do this stream is try and start building stuff in the actual main factory. So the main factory over there. But it is... Why is it waiting? Seems to be waiting for a while. Oh, there we go. I don't know if I set a timer on it or something as well. I think I did. Not sure why, but yeah. So you can now just go along the trains. I discovered this last time, but now just go along the trains. It's still wonky, the track. I'm not pretending it's some spectacular thing, but it's one of those where, you know, this is my first time ever playing with trains, and it's, you know, it's very much a learning experience. But this, look, so this before was like foundations all the way out here and along underneath it, and it was all horrible and ugly. I did leave a couple of these big ones in because I do think they do look good, but the frame pillar thing looks really, really good. Particularly, as I say, you can attach it to the actual underside of the actual track, so you can build it in, you know, using whatever, you know, mess that you want to actually build it. But then basically you turn off. It seems quite loud. Hang on. I'll turn it down on the gain. It's because we're in the train. The trains are quite loud. So it's straighter, you see. It's not perfectly straight. I haven't figured out how to do totally straight things yet. It always seems to wobble about a bit. The thing they have where the control, where you line up with like existing belt, doesn't seem to work for tracks, and I think it should do. Because it's difficult to get it dead straight, because it's that thing again where you're too close to the thing that you're trying to do. So you're like, you know, it's there and you're there, and so you can't really see exactly where you've oriented it. Yeah, so this is, I didn't really edit this at all other than replace the, you know, the support, the different support. So it looks a lot cleaner and, you know, stuff like that. And obviously it clips into the ground and it makes it look like it's buried in the terrain, which is really cool. It's stuff like that I've discovered that I really like in this game, that I had no idea I was going to. So this is just the other factory. I've not done anything here. It needs excuse me. It needs a bit of prettification. You know, like the other one. Oh, we got quite a few reds over there as well. That's a bit worrying. Why are those on red? Red means they're not getting... I mean, I have been adding quite a bit of stuff, so... But they should all be static. So it suggests that maybe they've become disconnected. In fact, I can't see any power poles and stuff, so maybe there's some problem with Update 5 has tweaked something. Yeah, we've got roofs now, so I can put a roof... Oh, you know, I need to unlock roofs. I've not actually got them yet. But you see, I'm sure the draw distance is further now, because I don't think you used to be able to see that. But then the trouble is, when I was driving the train, I wasn't looking at that anyway, so I don't know. Oh, I nipped over there and grabbed that hard drive while I was building it. The zooping just makes so many things so much easier. I like that they did say it was because for accessibility reasons. That, you know, when I discovered they've changed the colour of the power slugs, and they said on one of the recent videos it was for accessibility, and I can fully see that because the green ones did used to disappear a bit. Look, you can already see there's a blue power slug over on that bit of ground over there. Obviously surrounded by my nemesis, the poison plants. But you can't really see them when they were green. As I say, going to blue is great, and the pink and the yellow really stand out. But yeah, the LODs are quite harsh. You know, the drop down in detail is quite harsh. But I do think it looks really good. Yeah, so it's not, the factory over there hasn't really changed, so I've not done anything over there. I would quite like to pretty it up, but to do that I kind of need to unlock more stuff, and hopefully we'll build some things that today that will allow me, you know, I can put into the awesome sink, because I did actually think, should we just run over? Might as well just run over. Where's the other train? The other train's all the way there. Yeah, well, we'll run over. Because I was fiddling about with the colour customizer. It's really easy to use now. You don't have to fart about with the colour gun stuff, though that was still there. It wouldn't be in this menu. It was still there. No. I think they forgot to remove it, but it might have gone now. Oh no, colour cartridge is still there. You don't need it though, basically. You just use the customizer. Flipping X now. They've changed the default map button back to M, which is what it always should be anyway. But and you basically, you can do custom ones, but you select which one you want, and you just paint it in, basically. Really, really easy. And obviously, if you hold, it will do it. But I found that weirdly, it sort of goes through any tiny little gap. So if you do like a thing across there, and there's like a tiny gap, then it'll colour everything on the other side as well. So it's a little too keen, as it. But it didn't cost you anything, so you can make your factory, you know, purpley pink or whatever, and as much as you want, which is awesome. And there's like a customizer that changes the look of the material, even though it doesn't change the material, it changes it to look like concrete. But that's in here basically. So they look like steel wool, even though it doesn't use steel. It just makes it look that way. But say I need to get some stuff built to make them. Well, how's our other train? There you go. So this got coloured in when I was just swiping across purple on the wall, and it obviously just went through some little gap and turned it purple. But that seems to be, you know, you can make it look pretty, or you can use it for practical purposes to say, right, well, this one is coal and this one is iron plate, or, you know, iron ore. I also coloured in the old elevator. Oh, we're right here. No, you're gonna. No. Dang, missed the train. Missed the train. I've missed the train. Isn't it always the way, eh? Missed the train. Right, yeah, so I'll just show you this then. So basically, I made a little car park, basically. So, got the exploder here. Now, the exploder dropped through the map, interestingly. Now, whether it did that, I don't know when it actually did it, but it dropped through the map when I was over here, basically. And so I was trying to find it and doing the thing where the icons, you know, supposedly here, and you like hit, well, okay, so where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You know, so, you know, looking at these have required an orange border. It's interesting. Yeah, so the exploder was, you know, where is it type of thing. And then I realised from what they'd said when they explained how they'd edited it, how they changed the code basically. That it obviously once it drops through the map, now it will actually drop to the the kill zone as it were. But then it respawns it, and of course it respawns it way up high because it wants to avoid collision with anything. They wouldn't want to spawn it in the middle of a tree or something where you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. It's going to happen a lot because it's cold, basically. And so I then thought, and it was underneath my factory, basically. So the factory over we're going to go to now, it was it was parked underneath the middle of the factory. So it had obviously respawned, and I was like, oh, right, well, if it's respawned up the top and, been dropped from a great height onto the thing, it'll be on top of the factory. So I went up, and it was on the top floor of that factory. And it was just like plonked, like it had landed on top of a machine. But that was great, because that then meant, this problem which I had before, where the vehicle went under the ground and I couldn't recover it other than to edit the save file and give it a height above the terrain and stuff. It's automatically fixed that, basically. So obviously not great that it can fall through the map, but when it does, at least the vehicle doesn't disappear. Quite what it would do if it was on a route, I don't know, because if you think about it, if it dropped it, like, for example, on top of that factory, and the route is over, maybe it's delivering to something. You've got a drop-off station here, but it's got covered, and you've got the factory, or it's underneath the factory, and it drops it on top. Does it then attempt to drive off of the thing? Because if it's walled in, wherever it's done, it's not going to be able to continue its route. So I assume, and it sounded like from when the guy was talking about it, it'll sort of try and do its route. So it would try and drive off. But if it can't, then it basically repositions itself onto the route, is what I understand it. Like, they said nano machines, pick it up and back on. But yeah, it sounds like it will, sort itself out automatically. There've been here comes a train. There've been a lot of reports on the thing that the fuel is problematic. This new system they've got that it grabs that. I put in railings. I'm trying to make it look a little bit more like an actual factory would look. It's obviously not, I say there's people who do amazing things. It's not up to that standard, but my thought was, the railings would look, and especially now that you can zoop them and you can just stick a load in, you would have railings around the trains so that you don't get run over by the trains. Yeah, so effectively I've now got one train that's a single-headed train. Oh, I forgot to remove that tree, look. And here you go. See, so I've replaced all of the pillars that I had with the things. And I say, discovering that you could clip them to the underneath of the railway track and build them down made it so easy. Because it didn't matter about what height they were and trying to align them or anything like that. It just sticks them on. Now, of course, if it's going down at an angle, you might be able to see it here, actually. It sort of goes weird. It doesn't... It keeps the flatness orientated to the earth. So, if the track's at that, then the thing is going to clip in, diagonally. Here we go. So this was... I fixed all this. I'd quite like to put an actual, bridge around it to make it look like it's a suspension bridge across the gap, but, that's another job. So we'll hop off here. I might turn the train off, actually, so that we can just have a wander around here. I want it to stop first, obviously. But we can open the train menu, you see. We can turn off self-driving, and it will just wait for us. So those tweaks they've done there are great. But yeah, so I've put in, railings as if it was an actual, actual factory, and you were like, keep people safe, I've had to put this in because it's too high. If you drop down this, you get damaged. There's probably a more elegant solution to that. So as you can see I've put in more foundations and made it look like this was, properly constructed. I've used the alternate build thing to make this twisty. This is just clipping through. There is a thing which allows you to put pipes through other things. It's not doing that. It's just using the soft clipping through. But the buildings themselves haven't moved. It's just I've made it look a bit more deliberate. If you see what I mean? A bit more like, right, well, FICSIT has decided, or the engineer has decided to put this platform in, that sort of thing. And, put the fake support beams in. So we've got these are the big support beams holding the whole structure up. And then this is meant to be like a suspended mezzanine floor. So as if it's hanging from the surface above. So there's no support beams underneath this. It's just as if it's, hanging from a cradle almost. And that then means underneath, it's nice and clear for me to drive through, basically. It could do some tweaks. I didn't put these in properly, so this thing... But, an explorable drive underneath, it's no problem. But a bigger truck probably get hit by it, so I could do with tweaking stuff like that. But yeah, you see, so it's all gone here. And like these, I think these look really good when it's like this huge distance like this. So it's supposedly supporting the train. Obviously, it isn't really. But yeah, I think those look really good. For such a simple thing. Really love these still. This is just full of coal, I think, because I ended up with like tons of coal. Because I went to the other... We'll go to it next, obviously. I went to the other thing and I chopped off the supply line. So it's the coal that's coming in here for gunpowder is just from that single node that there is. To go up. So I again tidied this up a bit. Now that we've got the zoop in, I just stuck these in. I probably want some windows and stuff in here. But I left it open. The idea is it's sort of they built the platform and then they put these on top. These things at this level, just as an extra thing. Hang on a sec. And then there's like, this is like just a viewing platform, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure you can see further. I'm sure the draw distance is further. Because I'm sure I couldn't sort of see this in this level of detail before. That's a big tree, isn't it? Yes, so I'll just show you the top. I haven't put any of the overclocking in or anything like that to try and balance it out a bit. Then it kind of doesn't really matter for most of it. Yeah, so it's pretty much unchanged. I did stick the wall on the end, and once I've unlocked roofs, I can then put just a covering roof over the top of it. And the covering roof, my thought was, it's suspended from that, and this is just open, this side here. And then it covers over this as well, so although it's open at the moment, the roof would go all the way across. As if, so if it rained, it would supposedly fall off the side, as it were. And then the bit down here, I'm not sure. I'll probably leave it open, but maybe I'll have like an extended roof or something just to make it look just to cover it over, sort of thing. But maybe not. I'm not too fussed about that. Yeah. So there we go. So this is the tweaks I did to this. Whether I end up colouring everything in, I don't know. But so I did play out with it. I'm just no good at going down the ladders, and I don't really know why. Right, so we'll turn this back on, and we'll nip over to the coal. I won't hop out, but you'll be able to see what I've done there. Yeah, so I got like one double-headed train that goes back and forth on the same track, and then another that now loops back onto its own track. There you go. So I've basically taken out that belt that went up the hill, and this is now that one up there. It is basically supplying the stuff for gunpowder, and then this is just. I might have to tweak some of the things because it's not really doing anything as such. There's a little bit of like ammo and stuff moving about. I haven't really properly tidied this up. I kind of figured I would end up scaling it back because obviously I'd rather use the coal for steel, probably, than turning it into power. But then if we do something over at the Red Desert, there's a possibility that all of this, power stuff I could take out, and then the coal that's already over there I can just put on a train here and take up to the Red Desert. Because there's not too much coal. There is, but there's not as much coal if I end up making lots of steel over there. So yeah, so that's the tour of the tweaks I did. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's a couple of purple panels over there. I didn't actually do them. They're just where it's gone through a gap. So I say, it's something to be careful of. Yeah, I kind of need to unlock more, I mean, I did do things like that. Ramp here with the railings and stuff. So say, the idea is to make it look a bit more like a proper factory. Right, so yeah, so the objective really today is to try and actually start building. Look up. I'm not sure. So I did have a thing that had like some of the numbers I was going for because I've completely forgotten. Oh, here it is, yeah. I wonder if that's still valid on. Because I was trying to work out how I actually want to do it, basically. Each did out. Because what I also did, I put the. Where I can put it where I can see it. Right. Yes, no, so let's continue. So, I did do the copper, basically. So what we've got now is obviously the iron stuff is being processed at another site. Oh. The one we've just been to. There is something weird with this, look. So when you walk up these stairs, it gets stuck. And I think it's like an overlap thing. I think I'm getting stuck on that. But it doesn't quite make sense. Yeah, so basically I plopped in this, here. So this is making sheets. I've been transferring stuff over, as I have, as I can. Except where it's, stuck it in the awesome sink. But we're not making everything. So this is the sheets, copper sheets. I put way too much of that on, haven't I? Yeah, there's like, there's entire belts worth, basically. We've got 1, 2, 3, 7. There's 14 machines making. But I think when I came up with these numbers, I wasn't aware that, computers and stuff, circuit boards would use them quite so heavily. Because I had 6 on my list before. I've obviously got 14. But I've also done. So this is the steel processing. How many of these did I... 4 pipes and 3 beams. Oops. Something by accident there. 3. Ah. So really I should have another pipe machine in it. There's not really any room for it. Because it was meant to be 5 of these. No. 3 of these. 3 beams, which we've got. 4 pipes. Which we've only got 3. Hang on, why is there no coming out of there? Nothing on this belt. There's nothing on that belt. Yeah. Oh, that's got stuff on. Why is there nothing on this belt? Huh. Maybe it's not connected. Oh, there we go. Weird. Yeah, so if we take this out, I might just move it back a bit. And yeah, we'll put another one of these in. So I've got way too many sheets. Not sure if I'm bothered about that as such. To say, when it turned out that they were used a lot in process and stuff, I don't think my previous one had accounted for that. You know, when I came up with the numbers. It's very keen on putting the yellow, you know, overlapping with, you know, clipping. It's very keen on showing that. Got a power thing? I have not. Connected? I think so. Awesome. So we're going to need that to go. Have I put this 3? Oh, I have put this 3 up. So I'll put that way. It still does the random rotation thing, though. It's not quite as bad with it, but it still does it. Bet you're full, are you? Yeah, okay. Let's carry on. Right, so that gets me the number that I was sort of expecting for everything on this level. Apart from, as I say, way more sheets than I was planning for. And these are producing then, well, these are producing cables, wires, sorry, that are going into a you know, container. And this is wires for cables, and the wires for cables, it turns out, is 2 to 1. So rather than do one of my complex things where I merge it all down and then bring it all back again, I basically did it's 2 to 1 here, except we've got a machine here, like half, that's only half. So what I'm going to do, which is not something I've done before, I'm going to underclock it, so it's 30 there. We should be able to put this at 50% clock speed. And it will run at half, and it's only getting half the stuff it needs, so it should self-compensate. But I was looking up about the overclocking and underclocking. because it works a little weird. I mean, it doesn't. It's sort of, they've kind of copied Factorio again, but it's a different sort of a mechanism, but the same. Yeah, so I've got then what I need to check here, because I imagine what I did before was the output from the sheets was going to be lower, so I think I probably made some of it into cables. I was doing my maths before. So I ended up there with 7 cable machines. How many have I got? Well, I think I've only got 5. Well, 4.5, so half. Or, yeah, I've only got 4. Then one running at half. What about wires, rather? Wires would be including both. So I've probably got enough of them. 2, 6, 7, 9. My numbers don't make sense then. I think my numbers are all wrong. I might have to get some. Yeah, my numbers are wrong then because I've not accounted. This 7 cable machines require 14 wires. And I've only got 16 wires listed, so that's all wrong. So basically, what I think I did before, though, is that rather than use one for sheets and one for wires and cables, I was splitting, or what I was intending to do was split and bring up, more copper here, which we can do. I can stick more in there. I'm not going to do that now, though. Okay, so if we assume we've got the basic materials, I say I may need to do some tweaking for cables. But we've got everything in chests. We've got steel stuff, we've got iron stuff, we've got copper stuff, the basics as it were. So what was I then going to do with them? Because they sort of group up, there's sort of some grouping. Because I suspect I'm going to have to add more layers to the factory. Because it's the reinforced plates and modulars. Oops, that's gone. It's the reinforced plates and modulars that sort of group up, basically. Let's see if I can. I think they've made it darker at night and longer as well. That was one of the sort of pole things they had. But basically, the next 2 things that I need to make are these reinforced plates. Well, next 3 things. Reinforced plates, modular frames, and encased industrial. Encased industrial beams are relatively simple in that it's just concrete and the steel. So we could stick those in relatively no. Those are obviously, well, there you go. There's the synergy. So this is iron plates and screws. But then they go into modular frames. So those are, if you add in rods, those are together. In a sense, that one uses that one. But they then go into these, don't they, you see? So we've then got versatile frameworks. Now, I don't need to make those for the elevator, so we can ignore those for a bit. But that you've then got, you see, so you then got the steel one and the modular frames. And this one is the reinforced plates and also rotors. And that one is stators and cables. So those 2 then are basically what I need to make the 2 that I'm missing. I'm kind of intending to make those just make those so that I can feed them into the elevator and we'll get the next level. Because I think the next level is the aluminium stuff, which I've not done anything on. But you then have this thing so those are rods and screws, so basic stuff. Those are, steel pipes and wires, basic stuff. So they're just like a second tier thing. But then motors use both of those. So it's sort of there is a sort of a tiering thing, but it's a bit more complex than I was kind of anticipating. But what do I want? You see, I should really make these three, I think. Certainly these two. On this level. Because they use basic materials and we need them. Well, those go into something else, don't they? I don't think it's in this machine. What is that? What I've made? No. Spectra. Yeah, so heavy modular frames then is, a whole combination. There you go. So there's your encased steel frames. And you need them for a fair bit of construction stuff. And then this is where I was saying where I hadn't initially thought, that you needed quite so many sheets. Because that's a whole raft of sheets, basically. I wish you could get these to make the things below, if you see what I mean. So even though it's a waste of material, a waste of slots, if you could at least see what they are. But there you go. So circuit boards are 2 sheets each. And then computers require 10 of them. So it's effectively 20 sheets going into one computer. Is that 12 seconds and 8 seconds? It's not really, in a sense, you need a single one of those could do 3 runs, but you need 8, 16. So you need 3 circuit boards to feed one doing computers. And I've not even, crystal oscillators, that's why I'm bringing that stuff over from the other factory. So I can make these, because these have turned out to be like weirdly massively used. And then we got to make. Although, hang on, is it them I'm meant to be making? Oh, it is, isn't it? We've already done the tier that was the other one. Okay. Oh, no, I am right. So I need to make these 2 for the space elevator, but one uses the plates, the whatever it calls them, magic plates, and one uses the wires. So the other one, yeah. So this one, so that one, I don't need to make just yet. I will need to make it, but I don't need it just yet. Okay, so what we'll do then, we'll make the encased industrial beams and the reinforced iron plates on this level. Okay, now where's going to be best to put them? Because concrete is kind of over here, I think. These are actually fairly convenient to jump between, which I wasn't really anticipating. Where does concrete go? So concrete's here. Wait, where am I taking that then? What am I putting that in? So it's the second. Right. So what's that going into then? Let's see, it got stuck again. Oh, it's just here. Right, okay. Fine. Doesn't need to be here. What it also occurred to me is what I can do. Is concrete used for anything else other than industrial beams? I don't think it is it? But I can put splitters in, because one of the things they added, and like easily, is these snap to the belts now. So you don't have to completely deconstruct that entire belt. You can literally just put a splitter in where you need it. Or a merger. You can bring 2 together. Which makes this so much easier. So makes you so less bothered about, having to rework it because it's so much easier. But I can then use multiple. So what I'm thinking, in fact, I don't need to do it here. What I'm thinking is we use splitters to send it up through multiple things, because obviously a splitter, you know, a default satisfactory splitter provides like 3 outputs. So I guess we need to do that first, don't we? So we've got this here. That's the out. Don't know why that's there. Okay. You see, what I'm thinking is we put them in here, basically. So what we can do, it'll make more sense once I've shown it. I can put each of these conveyor wall 3. We can have a little gap. As I say, it's lots of unpleasant noises today, I think. And then basically we can bring one of these over, each of these over, because we've got steel, whatever that is, pipes. We've got steel plates. So that's 2. Got 2 screws because they're massively heavy. So that's 3, 4, isn't it? 5 for iron plates, 6 for iron rods, 7 for plastic, 8 for rubber, and then 9 for this. 9 sheets. So we need to have 9 places that we send stuff up. Okay. Now, I don't think it matters as such. So 1, 3. I'm trying to get used to doing the multi deconstruct. So if we actually put that there, that gives me... The gaps are just for convenience for when I'm building on the other side, so I don't need them. 2, 3, 4. So 8's easiest, but I've got 9. I mean, what I could do, I could not do the screws in... multiple things, so that would then give me 8. Maybe I send the screws up singular and split them at the other end. No, that's not one after though. Maybe we do... They're both screws. And then we've got... Yeah. Wait. Why does it look like there's different length? It's just my... And then one, that's, say, iron plates. That's steel plates, rather. That's steel pipes. This is the... thing, so I'll have to bring them all the way down. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So you can switch quickly between the modes just with R key. So that's switching to zoop mode. Yeah, okay. So we want to bring these 2 over to these 2. So my idea, I'll have to see how this works, is that basically I put a splitter here. So if I put these in, and then splitter will fit, and that, and then we put belt in, and then we put splitter. It sort of doesn't matter where, but let's put it just there. And then basically... Oh, I could have left that in, couldn't I? You know, we then send one up there. I don't really need to do it on that. Why? One there. And one. Oh. One there. So it's not exactly the prettiest thing. It gets us three output points, and if I need, I can then, you know, take 2 from a single thing. You know, if a single process uses a lot, I could take 2. It gives me 3 options basically. And if I need more, I can come down and sort of split it before then and do it. But so we're getting into territory then where I'm not producing that much stuff. Yeah, so we'll stick some of them in. Keep that. And hopefully the fact, I say, I'm going to get clipping things. I'm not massively fussed about that. Because these belts, you know, with 2 next to each other, they're going to overlap, but they won't intermingle. It's just soft clipping. It's not fussed about that sort of thing. Yeah. And so grab you. Put this at the point where it stops being. Yeah. Wait, lines it up in. Roughly. That gives me multiple lift points, basically, is what I'm really after. So they're not going to have a lot of material necessarily on all of them. I kind of realised that, I don't know, the game scales in a bit of an odd way for me. In that you can get quite a long way. Excuse me. Get quite a long way without needing stuff, or without needing like huge volumes of production. And then suddenly, although you can make things, there you go. You see they've clipped through. Although you can make things of higher complexity with only small amounts of material. So these 2 are screws, weren't they? And then this was iron plates or steel plates, or yeah, you can make things that are really complex, but you can't make them very quickly because a lot of the recipes are quite slow, and or require large volumes of material. You know, large volumes of, you know, lower level components. Which, of course, if you've been sort of, you know, just pushing on to get as far as you can, as quick as you can, you may well not have made. And so, although you can make the higher level stuff, it's really slow. And so you sort of suddenly need... you suddenly need extremely large volumes of material to do anything at a decent rate. That's kind of, I realise that's kind of what I've struggled with, in the sense that I've made, you know, these other 2 factories and enjoyed it immensely and complaining, but they're not actually producing that much stuff. And I think part of the answer to that is the whole overclock. Need to sort of boost the machines up, particularly like miners and stuff. Let's put the wall supports in first. Put them, because I need to, you know, I need to fill in a lot of walls and stuff. So I'll put that there. It's at the very top. Oh. Let's put it. Yeah. So this is going to be the cables, the sheets coming back. We may well run out of materials, basically, the sort of components to make belts and stuff. Well, high-level belts. We've got tons of iron plate. Just might as well stick all of it. Zoopy, zoopy, zoopy. Be more attractive if that was there, wouldn't it? Oh well. This is just before the door. No. No. Yeah, so I haven't got that many. Oh no, thinking about it, I'm making steel plates now. I've sort of fixed that problem. I fed a load of them into the... Excuse me, sorry. Into the awesome sink in order to unlock the steel frames. So I do apologise for all the sort of biological... Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to blow my nose, and I figured that was probably a bit too much for... a bit too biological. Yes, so, right, so that's the... Are they moving? That's the sheets, hopefully, coming along. Looks like it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Right, so we need to have a bit of these going on, so... I guess if we maybe... like that. Then we can maybe put that there. Third one. This is going to be the screws, isn't it? So... let's probably... move that. Yeah, the sort of multi-select thing is useful, but also a little bit fiddly when you're working with some of the smaller components. Yeah, so if we do them there, yeah, and then we want third level there. Right, so then this one will come out of, or these two. It's over there. Okay. And yeah, but it's a bit like, you know, it's a bit like the same thing with most factory games in that you've no idea whether, you know, you're going to need lots and lots of one thing and very little of another, or any of that stuff. And you learn that through playing the game, so that, you know, when you play the next time. Oh, I fed these round in a weird way. Oh, I didn't. That's easier there. But yeah, when you play the next time, you know, oh well, actually, I'm going to need tons and tons of, you know, screws. So we'll make more to start with, you know, at the beginning of the game. Is that going to reach across there? It should. Is that long enough? Yeah, it's okay. See what I mean? I've sort of crossed myself over. It's fine. Fine. Yeah, it's very keen on the yellow, you know, belts a clipping thing. So I have to assume, you see what I mean, I've got a bit of weirdness here. I was originally going to put that one in. Ah, well, doesn't matter. Now, should we add... Because we've got 2 lots of screws, haven't we? Yeah, I think I'll put them by the side. So if we put... okay. Let's triple level that as well. Other than wanting to elevate things so that I don't have to do stupid jumping over belts. Yep. I'm not particularly fussed about these looking, you know, too good. Such. Put this out of the way. Oh, where is too steep? No. Oops. Wait. This needs to be a little bit further over. So no, too steep. Oh, alt. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any like performance or stability. These aren't, you know, experimental branch, but I guess it is a possibility. On. I'll take to there. Yeah. Oh. Next lot then. I'm thinking this may become the entire stream. I hadn't anticipated this taking quite so long, but right. So we need a bit of space then, don't we? If we're going to do multi heights and levels. So I want to take all 4 of these over to here, over to these. So we probably need a bit of room to do. Yeah, okay, fine. Right, let's put these jobs in first. So I did wonder about, so I was sort of thinking through, say, with the realization that you need lots for the later tiers. I did end up thinking to myself whether blueprinting, I'm sure there is there's like a blueprinting, whether blueprinting would be kind of the solution in the same way that a big criticism for License Sphere program, and I played it through that first time, was the lack of any kind of copy and paste or blueprint system. And I'm not sure that I would want that in this game. Because it's not... It's sort of a double-edged sword in this game. In that I could actually have one of these be higher level, couldn't I? Because I've got... A lot of them are level 3 belt, production volume. I could actually support 4 lanes, so I could boost one of them up. But we'll just work with it. Level 1 belt. Anyway, yeah, so whether I'd want a blueprinting system in vanilla? I think the answer is probably no, because of the instant build. Dose Sphere program, you put things down and the bots build it for you, so you're constrained. And there's nothing. Yeah, you're like constrained by bot speed and things like that. But here it's instantaneous build, so if you put a blueprint down, everything would just be done instantly. And obviously you'd need the material, but it's not quite the same thing. If that makes sense. If I put you there, it's not 5, is it? It's 4. 2. Then just elevate this by 1. The question is going to be whether that reaches up there, which it doesn't. You need to be. I think there may be a copy and paste a limited copy and paste function would probably work. I think that would be useful. It's like 2 past. Yeah. Like a limited. Okay, so we're going to get flipping it. That's fine. Just about that. So that you can maybe copy 5 machines or something. Or copy a constructor and all the belts attached to it. Something like that. I think would kind of be more good one, because say it'd just be sort of too OP really to have just obviously you'd need to come up with the designs, copy other people. So this might get a little messy, I guess. So maybe if I do that one first, maybe we do them in that order. Go around a bit of a corner. Yeah. So I might be able to go down a level each time, because I'm not sure. Will that go? No, you see, that won't go on there. Will it go? No. So will that go? Move this over. Okay, that'll fit. So yeah, we sort of go down a level each time, maybe? Yeah, okay. So that's 2. Yeah. So... I've upgraded. Thing. Why did I do that? That's a bit higgledy-piggledy, a bit chaotically, but we should have separate things on. Oops, each one. It's down the top. Yeah, so iron plates, rubber, plastic, rods. Excellent. Okay, they're all connected here. Excellent. Right then. Concrete's on the side, isn't it? Because it's more like a raw material than a processed material. Okay. That's the only one, I think. Yeah, okay. Now what we should do then is work out, or attach, I guess, the concrete. So the concrete's there. So we actually want that, not on this level. Oh, I need to put the cables in as well, don't I? Okay, let's do that then. So if we have the cables and wires, and these two, think about those two. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth and fifth. It's the middle two, basically. I need to add those on. I say I suspect I'm going to need more cables. Trapped again, see. 1, 2. Fourth, fifth. So we've got that one's a 1 down the bottom, that one's a 1. Okay. Right, let's put another one of them in. Yeah, I suspect I'm going to need more, so actually we'll probably end up with, you know, cables down one end, wires down up here, you know, this end sort of thing. Right. A bit less room here. Okay, that's not a problem. It's maybe there's quite a lot of room with the splitter, so okay. That's yeah, it's a little difficult to get at, you know, mindset. So in Factorio, obviously, you know, you are resource limited in a way. But it's not quite in the sense that, so Factorio, the map isn't technically infinite, but for all intents and purposes it is, because oh, what are you doing? It is because, as I discovered on my Megabase series, when it gets too big, it becomes unplayable anyway. So, so it's practically unlimited, rather than being, or rather, it's practically limited, because in fact, I suspect that's why they put the infinite research that extends your ore. As I say, although you could, in theory, uncover every bit of the map, if you actually did that... Oh. Huh. I'm going to cross these over, maybe? Because that's a bit of an angle to go around to there. That's a bit unfortunate. Yeah. So it's dead. Sort of cross them over. Right. Yeah. Or maybe I put this. Yeah, that's practically unlimited. Oh, effectively unlimited, should I say. In practice, couldn't exploit every resource, in fact. So in fact, it is. In effect. In effect, it is unlimited. It is limited, sorry. I'm saying this all wrong. Basically, in Factorio, although there is a finite size of map and therefore a finite amount of resources, that limit is so big you could never exploit it all. However, if you stick to a more normal sort of size of, map area of uncoverage, that therefore limits the number of patches you've got. However, in Factorio you have the infinite researches, so you can boost up the amount of stuff you've got, basically, through the infinite researches, and you can do those. Those are deliberately sized such that it's almost impossible, so it needs to come up. This needs to. You can do more. You can do those more quickly than you would actually eat through the patch, and so every single patch just becomes bigger and bigger. Even though you do a massive amount of research and production, but there is a limit. Patches are limited, and you can easily burn through a patch. Certainly early game, certainly mid game. Burn through patch materials, in fact. So then you would have the issue of rework everything. I've got to find a new patch, got to exploit it, got to do trains, blah blah. Whereas in this game, it's fixed patches that are completely infinite. They'll just run forever and ever and ever. I'm looking for. Oh, you're trying to clip to this, are you? Yeah, that will just, go forever and ever and ever. And you can actually get even more out of them than concrete coming up. Oh, I must only have a lower level belt or something. Yeah, so you have properly infinite resources in this game. From fixed places that resources are going to be produced at. So you're always going to know that, there are going to be, I've actually forgotten, there's 4 iron ore patches here, is there? Or 3, something like that. And 2 copper and stuff. And they're never going to move. They're always going to, that copper is always going to be of its given purity level. You can only overclock it to a certain degree to produce a certain amount of material. And that's it then. So there's nothing like in Factorio where you can stick modules in and beacons of all sorts of combination and get super duper speed or super duper production or whatever. There's less things to juggle from that point of view. Completely forgotten what point I was making. But yeah, so effectively, I know what it was. So in Factorio, well, in this game, building your final factory to start with, even though that would be sort of impractical, but it is possible because you're always going to use, so foundations are always foundations. Even with the cosmetic version stuff, a 1 meter foundation is always a 1 meter foundation that costs. I mean, there's the alternate recipes thing, but it costs 5 concrete now and 2 iron plate. So you could make your factory, if you know the numbers, once you've played the game through and you know the numbers, you know how much you need of everything. Even though you probably couldn't build all of the individual production machines. You might want to go overclocking and sorts of things. You could build the factory of the floor print that you want the final factory to be at the very beginning of the game. there is nothing stopping you. There's no, there's no pollution mechanic where, like in Factory, if you build try and build your entire factory or try and claim all of the space, you'll just get eaten by the biters. And you'll also probably produce pollution that triggers attacks and all that sort of thing. But none of that's in this game. So you see, if I knew how many of each machine I wanted, I could make a factory that does that, or I could go over to the desert and build that factory that I need that produces the exact right amount of materials to produce the final end game products. But I don't know that. I've not played it through. I have no real idea what point I was making there, but it's given me something to talk about. But there you go. Right, so what we want to do on this level, finally, is stick on some assemblers to make reinforced plate and what should we call it? I suppose that's a point, isn't it? I'm going to have to fill out. I mean, I guess I could take them up the sides for these more advanced materials, but we're going to run out of these, aren't we? Because how many slots have I got? Can I see it from outside? So you see, I've now got cables, and so I've got 2 slots here. Because they're effectively blocked by all of these lifts. Because it's basically going to be a whole series of lifts going up. And as I say, if it turns out I don't need 3, I can increase the speed of some of the belts. Because already one of these could be level 2, but I could make, if I don't need 3, we'll just connect up 2, and they'll both be at level 2 or something. Yeah, so I've got 2 slots here. That I can take up. I say, this factory, because I don't know how much of everything I need, kind of is what it is. And it's going to reach a point where it can't really do the next level of tiers and stuff. But then, which ones is it? So it's not. It's number 2. And yeah, so it's the second one on each side. So it's this one. This one? Yeah, because I got the window. Yeah, okay. And this one. Oh, so I got some on the other side. And everything else is either going to come in here or, ignores this and goes up the outside. Okay, okay. So, what we need to do, and obviously we've got the same on the other side. That will all be input. But I've got a couple of slots there. Because I've got, like modular frames that I probably need to take up as well. Well, that's what I mean, basically. So I've got modular frames. I've got rotors. I've got stators. I've got motors. These 2 I'm relatively comfortable to produce on the same level. As that they're used, as it were. So I need 4 more slots. I don't think I've got 4. Might have. Let's have a look. What I've got? We've got 1, 2, 3. We've only got 3 slots. Okay. Well, it's not disastrous. It just means using some of the side ones, and it just instantly becomes complicated spaghetti then. Because what I'm anticipating doing with these, basically, what I'm going for, is essentially, I put in the window that has the material for the appropriate place, and then I essentially load it onto a stack of these. Yeah, we just take it then to whatever machines it needs to be done. So it might get a little complicated because don't know if it'll let me stack. So let's just experiment it. Let's see. If I have... But you see, it's only like the very, very high level machines. And I can always side stack, you know, have 2 rows. But it's only the very, very high level products that need large numbers of like ingredients. Essentially the idea would then we would have, you know, set of rows, things, and then I'll just stick the splitters in. Oh, it does let me stack them. Does it? I don't know if that counts as being. Is that attached to the belt though? You see, or is it? I mean, it's giving me a blue. It's not yellow, so it's not saying, "Oh, this is just clipping through." Huh, that's interesting. Oh, it might be okay then. Yeah, the idea was to effectively create like a mini bus each time for each thing that I'm going to make. Yeah, I found out the mass delete thing is useful. Also a little bit fiddly. Very prone to hitting the wrong thing and accidentally deleting stuff. Okay, so what we want is... Because this is coming in here, isn't it, really? So we probably want the machines going this way and the output going this way and feed them up there. Okay, okay. Now which way? In fact, let's look at the numbers. So what I wanted to was, in theory, these numbers are probably wrong, but I was going to have this is the encased. So I was only going to have 2 machines making encased concrete. Not sure that's wise, but let's have a look at the numbers. So 10 seconds. So it would need 24 per minute, 30 per minute. And a single belt at level 1 provides 60. So assuming I have only put, you know, enough to support... I could add more concrete, that's not too much of an issue. That one, though, not got a lot of production of that. I'd quite like to have 3 of them producing this. It's the wrong way around. What? Yeah, so if we... Because this is concrete coming in here, so I'm going to move it up that way. Plus, as I say, it's not actually that. I'm very tempted to put something else in here. I must admit. Like the modular frames or something. Let's just get these in. Why you not be sensible? Just put it... And what do you want? You want concrete, steel thingies, which obviously, they're obviously at the end, but so the idea is to bring things along the walls. Now I've got the wall connectors. Is that going to be enough room? Probably not. Yeah, so we have a stack of the stackers here. And I'll take them around the walls, add them to the stacker, and then it bus, effectively, mini bus. This will have to go in the other direction, so that'll be a bit weird. But I guess I could take it. Yeah, I think I need a little bit of room. Because we're not in the middle of the... No. I'm going to say I can only support a couple of these anyway. So, I'm not multi-siding it. So let's make it there. Yeah, let's do that. But I am keen with these higher level ones. to, because you see, with the now that a lot of the basics are coming in by train, and I can always replace, cables and train, from the desert or make another factory over at the grassland. Let's put this here. To bring the copper ones in, and then we'll just effectively replace all those machines with more trains. And then I could, have more trains added to the lines as well now. I'd have to work out signalling, and I'd have to make it double lane tracks. I'm a bit more confident. Right, so if we were to put... What am I looking for? I'm looking for number 8. If I put it a bit further out... It's the wrong place, isn't it? It wants to be in line with the... Line it up with that. Seem to disappear. It's things like this. I don't know. In fact, can I zoop? I didn't occur to me that. I can. Huh. Think of everything, don't they? Right. Yes. So then, what we do? So we'll just use level 1 for now. Oops. Is that going to work? Yeah, because it's going to be splitting off directions. I mean, I could put... See, I could put one each like that. Or I could just sort of put it in the middle. And do them curving out. Yeah, I prefer. Why is that weirdly orientated? That should be... See, why is it flipped it around? Well, it's clipping to a belt, so... Knows which direction it's going. Or maybe it isn't clipping to it. It's not yellow. Yep. That belt the wrong. That's not clipped onto it. Because that's just going straight through it. Whereas that's 2 segments. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Right, so if we bring... Actually, they've also they actually changed this because this had an orientation effectively, so that one side was different to the other. They've made it the same, which is great because it means you don't have to mess around trying to work out the directions and stuff, or rotating it. And it's because of the zooping. I think they've gone, oh well. It needs to be... If I put, say, it's here. Feed this into the top one. See what actually happens. Connect your increased beams. Take. So if I bring you down, I'm gonna send. Oh, it's too steep. nuts. Well, let's just put this on the side here or something so I can see if it... Get some concrete. Only just coming round because it's level 1. Do you send me concrete? No? No? No concrete for me? No. Just check the end one as well. So why did that not do the, you know, yellow soft appearance? It's not actually connected. Okay, in that case, I assume that merge. Yeah, it looks like it's merging them together. I mean, it's too. The angle's too much anyway. So maybe if we get it aligned with this, it'll work better anyway. Is that going to be a bit easier for you? No. Okay. Okay. It's complete. There you go. You see, you can remove things from the delete. Basically, you have to. I find it's easier to single press the control on the ones you don't want to delete. It's not sort of technically what it's supposed to do, I think. Oh. Okay, so we needed to be a bit closer, a bit further away. So, so maybe. Yeah, zoop. Super zoop. Super zoop. Yeah, like, you know, like that. That'd be. I suppose zooping helps really with the, but. You know, it'd be useful to be able to just copy and paste. In fact, I've just made those higher, haven't I? Let's see what he did. Splittering. Splitter. No? Why are you not clip? Don't clip. Don't clip then. I'm not bothered. How is that still too steep? Okay. Let's just see if that. So, will you let me? Yes, you will. Now you're moaning about overlaps and stuff. And will you go in? Yes, you will. Okay. Right. Yeah, I've really been sort of getting back into the game now that old Factory Omega Base series is done. I was actually putting like a ridiculous amount of hours into it towards the end because I had reached the point. It was kind of sort of ironic, but it was the exact thing that I'd sort of worried about, as it were, and why I streamed it. Because there are a couple of people that have been coming back. Very much appreciated for the audience thing, and more lovely and helpful where they can be, and etc. etc. But in all honesty, if they weren't there, I'd have stopped ages ago, because it's the exact thing that I was kind of worried about. Or exact problem, but why I've never done it before, and that it just became a massive grind. It's at least. So it wants to be there, doesn't it? Not that I've done it on the other side, but it's in the middle. Go, it's a bit. That's fine. Right, so now I've got to work out which blowing one. See it from here? I think it must be. I have to go out there. So, trying to look around the corner with my head again. Which one was steel beam? I think it's this one, isn't it? Those look like steel beam. So, what I could do is I could colour it, couldn't I? That's an idea. You know, so that I know that sort of purple is one thing. That type of thing. That's an idea. Right, so yes, we'll just take up one of these. One. Yeah. It sort of clips now to these properly. It didn't used to do that bit. Oh, I was trying to look what's coming out of there. But see, those are steel plates. Oops, those are steel plates, aren't they? Yeah, there we go. Right. Put that in temporarily so that I can put one of these on. It needs to go up to that level. So this is all a bit inelegant, isn't it? That's not ideal. No, so it's the kind of thing that if I knew how much of everything I needed to make, I was discussing earlier, then I'd know whether this was the factory in its final form. I can't imagine it is. If it was, then I could design and build something that, you know, is more attractive by default. Don't think I've explained that very. Right, we don't have any power at this level by the looks of things. Where are these connected? Oh, they are. Okay. Right, so if we bring that across, okay. I really need to set up my shortcuts and stuff. Yeah. Or I'm too late. Let's put one. Take them. I wonder if those zoop as well. Would that be any use though? No, they only have one. Right, so let's connect this up. So like I've seen, you know, looking at some of the videos, say, of people's awesome factories, they're really good at hiding cables and all that sort of stuff, but while that looks awesome, is there any point in me doing it at this stage? Because I just have to tear it all down again. And I discover that, you know, I need a factory that produces 10 times as much. Everything. Okay, so they've all got power, they've all got stuff, I think. Slow stuff. Okay. Right, so let's chuck them in we'll put a storage chest at the end here, because if I add more, I'll just extend it this way. Move that up and that up. Just do it that way. Would I? I mean, it'd be easier to just stick machines here. Okay, let's plop them in as if we were doing that. I'll put a storage at the end. In fact, let's... I mean, I put 3 there because, I mean, that'd be... There's no way I've got enough material to support that. Put a 4th one. These align weird now. That gap isn't a gap. See what I mean? So it's like it won't clip to that. Is that in? It's out. When you build it, you know, it's correct as it were, but it doesn't look like it's correct when you're ghosting it. I know why. Right, so yes, we need to stick these all together. I can never remember. Something like that. Oh. Idiot. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Okay. Don't need that one. Such. Oh. And then I guess some poles. Too tight, isn't it? That. No, that's just randomly placed. Silly person. There we go. That's better. Does that belt need to go? How quick are these being produced? 6, 12, 80. Ah, it's just backlogged. Okay, so that's one of them. Next one then is... We'll obviously just put it next to it, you know, so we'll have the just here. I'm adding it to this, aren't I? I'll just put this all in. Yeah, that's right. So, if this was the equivalent container here somewhere. this is the sort of line. We want these kind of next to each other. This would be the... What have I done there? That one. Oh, I know what's... What? That's in completely the wrong. How have I managed that? I've done it with that one as well. It tends... It's very sort of... It's over-eager, if I'm honest, with the lines. It sort of matches them up to the wrong thing. Quite a lot of the time. It's the belt. Sort of. There you go. I think it's an artifact of... Because it used to have the lines that were the centre of the machine. So it's sort of got more lines than it needs. Right, let's see if that's right then. There we go. You gonna let me cross there? Yeah. Go. Go. Not producing anything. Slow. Yeah, waiting for contact. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've got 3 machines, and yet I've only got concrete coming in at sort of 60 a minute. So I can actually only... Most, and staying with the steel beams. So they would need boosting to even support these machines. At the belt levels. Boosting. So if we leave, say, a splitter's worth of gap. Yeah. So ideally, this is where the output is. Let's get it about the same. It's kind of one of these, and then like 5 steps back. Same. I could squish these up. That's a bit ungentle with the curve. A bit too gentle with the curve. So if I've got 2 tiles there, I've left 3 here, but these are far too far. We should be able to get the same trick going. Right, so these need to be reinforced iron plates. Now these I should be able to feed properly. Because they do take slightly longer. I should be able to do lots of them. Because I've got an entire extra thing of screws that I was intending basically to... This is the thing I've been saying quite a while, that this recipe seems particularly tricky, given where it is. Technology. This is where sneezing. Right. So what I had was 4 reinforcements. would that even work? Because 60, sorry, 60, 90, 120, 180, 240. So I could possibly support 5 with 3's, you know, level 4, level 3 rather, belt. Yeah, 60, 120, 80. Oh no, well, 60, 120, 180, 240, and then there would be like a bit left over. Could underclock. Then half that of iron plate, so that's fine. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's come up to 5 o'clock. Hold on. I think you get the idea anyway. I think the paracetamol's like properly kicked in, which is not actually feeling quite as bad at the moment. So I think that's because hepped up on paracetamol basically. Yeah. It doesn't, I'll be honest, it hasn't helped. We have something called Bonfire Night in the UK, which is basically like 4th of July in the only kind of like the opposite reason. It's basically Guido Fawkes, and he was just a mercenary actually. He wasn't really not one of the main guys, but the Catholics wanted to try and blow up. Oh, ran out of iron plate. Wanted to try and blow up Parliament. Quite an extreme sort of protest. But, oh, wrong. Yeah, they were trying to blow up Parliament. Not 100% sure on the exact reason why, but on general principle, we're pretty practiced at oppressing, repressing, victimising all and sundry in the UK. It's kind of one of our most popular leisure activities. Oh, this door's on the wrong way around. Oh, no, wrong door. Yeah. And so they were attempting to blow up Parliament when King Charles... I'm not sure that they didn't want to actually just blow up King Charles, I can't remember. But, yeah, they wanted to blow up Parliament and did so by... It's the gunpowder plot, basically. So they packed a load of gunpowder in... They used to rent cellars, as in, you know, basements, as in, you know, underground cellars in Parliament. And so they basically rented this the cellar, and then check if anything there. Yeah, close enough. This doesn't. Oh no, it does. Yeah, so there used to be a rent Parliament, so they rented one of these cellars. And basically shipped a load of, stuck a load of gunpowder underneath it. That filled it with gunpowder. Covered that gunpowder over with wooden planks and that, so it wouldn't be noticeable. Barrels of gunpowder. And basically, Guido Fawkes, Mercenary. 2? It's 2. It was him that was gonna... Hang on. Which side is which coming in? Have a look. He was the one that was going to set it off, basically. So iron plates are here. What else do we want? We want screws, and they're at the other end. But yeah, there was a whole thing about the reason they sort of got caught. Because it was, they used to, I mean, you'd think, oh, well, you know, what they're allowing people to rent cellars for under Parliament, that's just asking for trouble. But basically they did check them, you know, they inspected them basically to see if there's anything dodgy going on. And they missed it multiple times, didn't see the gunpowder or work it out sort of thing. Let's put you there. But some of the conspirators had friends in Parliament, basically. And I can't remember whether, I think I was doing it one level. Avoid the wire thing. See, it's aligning with all sorts of weird things. Yeah, so they sent warnings, and I think it was something to do with that. Basically, they then, you know, they're members of Parliament. They like them, sort of thing. So they tipped them off that there was something going to happen. Let's punch. Oh. And of course, rather than just stay away, they, you know, he said, perhaps there's something going on. And essentially gave the game away. What's the lift? Okay. Just stick one of them on for them. So they found him. Pedo forks. And then he was basically tortured until he revealed the conspirators, and it was all given away. But so it was all timed to happen on the opening of Parliament, which I think was the 5th November, and that was why, or that was when they were caught. I can't remember the exact date. But there's a rhyme, famous rhyme. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. And then I can't remember. And so basically in the UK, people light bonfires. Was it? And set off fireworks to celebrate them getting caught, basically. So I guess I should check. Oh. Check the alignment. Is that up, haven't I? It's not. Yeah, it's not where it needs to be. This needs to be aligned with that. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully the angles are okay. We should see. There's like organised displays and stuff as well. It's quite a lot like 4th of July. It's the 5th of November today. Anyway, the point I was making is, what it means is that for about a week beforehand, and a week afterwards. In fact, depending on where you are, here being one of those places, it's more like the month before and then the month afterwards. We'll set off fireworks. Do have little firework displays and all that stuff. Which is fine. Don't have any fundamental problem with it. Enjoy a good fire display. Get a bit over the top at times, particularly here's one of the worst places I've ever lived. Fireworks. When I used to live place where there's basically like fireworks shop. In fact, multiple fireworks shops. Really close by. Huh, have I put that? I think I put that in the wrong place, haven't I? And so people used to set fireworks off for any reason, you know, just because there was a Y in the day. The name of the day. Oh, set some fireworks off, you know. Is that iron plates going in? Are they actually? I don't think they're going in, are they? Let's go. I just want to finish this off, basically. Oh no, there's the iron plates. And then I'll call the stream there, so it's going to be about late. But yeah, it means it, you know. There are technically laws about the times you're allowed to do these things, but I mean, why would the police bother enforcing that? So yeah, they go off till like midnight basically every day for weeks. Sort of beforehand. Can make it a bit difficult to get to sleep / stay asleep. So when you're, it's not ideal. I mean, the biggest problem I would say with it, to be honest, is more to do with the animals. So, you know, cats and dogs. I mean, birds obviously get woken up and, you know, while they're roosting and all that stuff. And end up flying into building windows and all sorts. It's not. Also, cats and dogs don't know what the hell's going on, and see, terrifying for them. So this does basically work. I've ended up with it quite far back. This could be a lot closer, I think, if I'm not going to go higher levels. Right, so what else do we need? We need screws, don't we? Which will be one of these two. Yeah, I think. Probably end up converting this to, you know, a single one at level, you know, 3 or something. But just built with 6. No. Right, so if I put this here. Yeah, I like the general principle of, you know, using the wall mounts to bring things round, and then in like a mini stack of, stacked bus type of thing. Quite like that as a way of organising it. Probably take more efficient versions of what. Let's have a look and see. But yeah, I should colour in the walls, I think. I think colour in those so it tells me what's what. I just have the colouring, so, like red is screw and purple or something is iron plate and green is rods or something like that. Yeah, they're going to take a little while to get here. We'll wait until first one is produced to make sure it works. But that's the stream for today. I'm going to continue. So I'm more keen to leave more space. The other ones I've kind of crammed in, as I say, because I'm not averse to putting more train lines in. Because there's a whole side of the factory here where we could attach another train or two, and it could bring in. I mean, there's. Thinking about it. I mean, we could still smelt steel here. I could convert, say, the space that I'm using for, In fact, we could convert the second floor, or third floor, I guess it is, to steel production. So we could still use the iron ore that's here, and the coal, from that line. See, it looks really cool, the trains, and that's not even a very well done one. Really cool. And that coal can make steel here, maybe. Even if we don't, I could bring it in from the desert or something. But then I could have a factory making copper that is either over in the grassland or maybe somewhere from over there. And we have another train station here. And so rather than, produce this, at the moment the steel and some copper production is on that floor, the rest of the copper production here, but instead I could have, a train attached to this level, and it drops off the copper, extra steel or something, or this is steel smelting and iron drop off, something like that. So I have crammed them in, but for the rest of these, I'm happy to space things out. I got tons of space to expand these, and way more than I can actually support currently. But I could have more trains coming in, bringing more stuff in, if and when needed. So yeah, so eventually this factory is going to be really tall because of the amount of space I'm using for everything. Are we getting plates in? We are. They arrived yet? Yeah, so, if I'm not feeling too bad and I want to do stuff, I'll start adding, I'll add like modular frames to the next level. Would be the sensible thing, because now I've got, I need to stick them in the wall, don't I? But, I've got them that I can make modular frames from, and then, I don't know, maybe I make heavy modular frames there as well. And that's what's on that floor. And then the next floor is, say, or maybe the next floor is stators and rotors. And then the floor above that is modular frames and motors. Yeah, that would sort of make sense, wouldn't it? Then and then, yeah, the next floor up. Because I do need to make crystal ocelots. Because we're going to need quite a few of them. But yeah, so, the idea at the moment is like 2 per level until we get to the point where they're so heavy on materials that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so that's the stream for today. If you've been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with Factorio. Factorio tomorrow is going to be the post-mortem on the Mega Base series. If I'm not feeling great, you know, if I feel worse, as it were, then that's quite a good thing that I can just do that. That'll be, you know, a couple of hours or something. My voice runs out, whatever. Then that's an easy one to chop off, wherever I decide to. But if I am feeling a bit better or same, then we will start my new series, which is going to be a spoon hunt. We're trying to get the There Is No Spoon achieved. Much more leisurely paced, much more. It's not going to take. I mean, I can play the game through in about 20 hours already. So that's 5 streams or something, is it? No. Whatever, 7 streams or something. So, you know, 4 weeks. So by the end of the year, we should probably have the No Spoon achievement. I may alternate as well. I might start a Crash Storio series. You know, maybe on the Sunday or something, you know. Don't know. Depends how I feel. And then Monday will be Docent Sphere program again. We're doing well there. That's the other one I'm going to pick up doing in my own time. Because we're at the stage where really we need to scale up. And that's not massively interesting for streams. So that's the other one I'll be picking up. Excuse me, in my personal time. Yeah, so this will be back next week, 5 till 7. 3 till 5. So if you've been watching, thanks for doing so. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been Joe's Magician. This has been Satisfactory. Thanks for watching. Cheers.